Hi, so today I will be sharing how I made these golden portrait frames for the short film Philippa, which I will link in the description. Also, just fun fact, the artwork that's in the frames I created with AI images, and then I painted a gel medium over it to give it like a paint texture, if that's something you are interested in. But I'm gonna be focusing on the portrait frames today. Well, the decorative interior moldings. So basically those like foam polystyrene cornice or skirtings that you can find, obviously any sort that you like. Well, hand saw so you can saw the corners, a miter box image. So basically that will help you to get the correct angles when you saw. Otherwise you could use a speed square. It's not as effective, but if you don't have a miter box but you do have a speed square, that could also work. And a silicone or like cornice adhesive that you can use to stick them together at the corners, at the pieces that you're gonna saw. Some people do use hot glue and it works for them. It is a little bit of a risk because with the foam, if the glue gets really hot, it can melt the foam. So I don't really recommend hot glue, but if you're in a pickle, then you can use the hot glue. Just make sure that it doesn't heat up like completely so that it doesn't melt the foam. Use any color paint that you want. It has to be a water-based paint though. It can't be oil-based because otherwise, again, it'll melt the foam. So water-based paint, acrylic in other words. How I made the frames. I got the moldings from like a scrap corner in the university that I was at. Their like workshop had like a corner where people would just like dump their excess, whatever they had after their projects. So I literally just went there. It felt like dumpster diving, and I got like these random very ornate foam moldings, and I decided to make the portrait frames out of that because it would be way cheaper than having to buy. So yeah, but anyway, that's a little bit of a side story. And basically, yeah, then you grab your hand saw, you use your miter box. I'm not going to explain how to use a miter box. There are so many tutorial videos on how to use a miter box, so feel free to go watch one of those videos. But basically you use your miter box to make sure you get 45-degree angles at the ends of your pieces. So I got sure that these two pieces are the same length and these two pieces are the same length. Make 45-degree angles at each end, so that when you stick them together it's going to make a right angle, because obviously you don't want your portrait frame to sort of be wonky like that or kind of go like this. You want a nice like rectangle with right angles. So yes, I would recommend numbering the pieces. So saying like this is piece A1 and this is piece A2, and then these would be like B1 and B2, because it can easily get very confusing on which one is the one that's supposed to be here and which one's supposed to be the one that's here and here and here. So just to make life easy for yourself, number at the back, like with a Koki or something, a pen or whatever, so that when you stick them together you make sure you stick it the right pieces to the right pieces. Otherwise, yeah, it's not gonna work that well. But anyway, so you stick them together with the cornice adhesive or the silicone or hot glue, which I don't recommend. In my experience, I don't know how other people do it, but in my experience it kind of needs to be held together while the adhesive is drying, which can kind of be a hassle. So if you have clamps that you can use to clamp them together, or after that's dried you can go ahead and paint. So yeah, just with a light paintbrush, you can just go ahead. I guess you can use a paint roller if your molding isn't very decorative, but if it is, you're gonna have to use a paintbrush. It took me about 2 layers, actually, not 3, so yeah, but also it depends on the paint that you use. But yeah, that's basically it. Oh, what was also really convenient about these is because it was the foam frames, I didn't have to worry about attaching a string to it or anything to like put it on, like hang it onto a nail. I literally just pressed it onto the nail to make sure it's like stuck in place when I put it on the wall. Although it's lighter to transport, I'd say it's definitely more delicate than wood would have been, so take that into account when you transport it. And yeah, I think that's all you really need to know. Thank you.